Hi, this is Randy Sutton, a retired police lieutenant and the author of A Cop's Life. Sacramento is in an uproar because of the shooting death of a black suspect at the hands of the Sacramento Police Department. Now, you would think by reading the headlines and listening to the news media that this guy was some type of saint. In fact, let me read a couple of these. The man shot and killed by Sacramento police was turning his life around, his brother says. Another says, videos show police shoot and kill Stephon Clark, an unarmed black father, and then in the body they show these pictures of, several years ago, and he's smiling, he's holding children, etc. and so forth. None of them say that he's a career criminal. None of them say that he was shot by police after he was breaking into a bunch of cars and a house in his own neighborhood, basically terrorizing his own neighborhood where he lives with his grandmother. Well, here's what happens, okay? The police get a 911 call. Guy breaking into cars. They get there, the helicopter gets there, and with the infrared, they see this suspect. They spot him. And they spot him, he's breaking into another house. The air unit contacts the ground units, they find him, they confront him, and instead of complying, guess again, when they said stop police, he turns and runs. They chase him. They capture, they converge on a backyard. He is in the backyard. Now, they have no idea who this guy is. All they know is that he is a burglary suspect. So they approach him, they spot him, and they tell him to show his hands. Instead of doing that, instead of complying, instead of doing what he should have done once he's caught, instead, you can see that he walks towards them and he raises an object like that. Turns out to be his cell phone. Why did he do that? I don't have a clue. But the officers are in a low light situation. They see him take this stance. One of them even says, gun, gun, gun. So you know that that's exactly what he thinks, and that is a reasonable thing to think. They open fire and they kill him. You know what? He didn't have to die. That is true. All he had to do was comply. All he had to do was give up. Now, let's talk about, they're talking about, he changed his life around. Really? Well, did he change his life around in the time between he was breaking into those cars in that house and then ran into the backyard? Is that when he changed his life suddenly? Or is this more of the typical CNN nonsense? The governor, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, this guy is unbelievable. He comes out and he does a tweet. Gavin Newsom, Lieutenant Governor of California. Californians' heart aches with the tragic loss of Stephon Clark, and we grieve with the family. It's time to acknowledge some hard truths. A suspect that looks like me would still be alive. Stephon isn't. That must change. And then they have pictures of him holding his children. Are you freaking kidding me? Lieutenant Governor Newsom, I guarantee you, if you had been in the backyard and you pointed something at those police officers, you'd be dead just as Stephon Clark is. They don't care. In fact, one of the officers was black. Is he a racist too? Because that's what everybody's being accused of, racism. This is about officer safety. This is about making the decisions about your own life. Stephon Clark didn't have to die, but he didn't have to go out and terrorize his own neighborhood. He didn't have to choose a life of crime. He didn't have to die if he had just done what he was supposed to do, and that is, once you're caught, give up. And that, my friends, is the latest from Sacramento.